I'm in the city, we bringing it home, you know what I said, eh? 2 up, 2 down, yeah, that's the state, but I'm from the town, eh?
Story gotta come full circle. Part 5. So when I left off in part 4, me and Devon was out here looking like Shaq and Kobe. We was out here, you know what I'm saying, leading this program in the city of Norfolk, you know what I'm saying, on the grand stage of the Attorney General's office, looking real good. We got news reports, we got awards, we got all types of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Everything's moving great. I'm at this point where I feel like, you know, I pulled off the impossible. I left a job I was happy with, but essentially got kind of plateaued, but I was able to leap off of that, get a new position, grew there, started meeting people around the state, made a lot of great connections there, and everything was good. Until one bad day. At this point, I'm like 28 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here, I'm doing what I do. I'm not really a big fan of politics, to be honest with you. The only thing I really knew about politics is I voted for Obama the 2 times before this. You know what I'm saying? Like, to keep it 100 with you. Like, really didn't dive into politics. So the Attorney General, you know, he's an elected official. And at this point in time, some of the key officials in our state government weren't in the best light. Okay, you had, you know, one of them was accused of something that would make people of my skin color kind of upset, you know. Second one was accused of something that would make basically everybody upset. And then my particular boss, quote unquote, you know, he basically came out and said he did something a long time ago, which was never really uncovered, but said he did something which kind of went along with the first person I was talking about and wasn't received very well. So, mind you, I'm down in Norfolk. Everybody in my office is up in Richmond. So, my line of communication to what's going on in Richmond is Devon. So, I talk to Devon every day, and I'm like, bro, like, what's going on up there? He like, you know, nothing. Just people outside just protesting, talking about, you know, he should leave office, things like that. I'm like, oh, damn, like, glad I'm not there. So, I'm kind of in my little cubby hole back in Norfolk. And the first time I really realized how it would affect me was when I saw everybody together right before an election. So, like I said, he's an elected official. He has to run for office again. And everybody's kind of on the edge of, what if this situation leads to a reason why he is not reelected? So mind you, Devon is my supervisor. He's technically under a salary position. I'm here because of a grant. So my salary is coming from a grant. So I basically asked Devon, and I was very transparent with Devon. Devon was very transparent with me. I'm like, bro, if he doesn't get reelected, what happens to me? And he like, I don't know, bro. The next person could come in and they're not guaranteed to have the same views we have right now, so they could scrap everything, if you want to be honest. When Devon told me that, bro, instantly got nervous. I'm like, bro, I'm married, I got a kid. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm waiting till the last second to realize if I got a job or not. Like, that's kind of not really good for my mental at the time. He ends up running for Attorney General. He wins again. All is good. That was the first hurdle. Second hurdle was the grant. So when we got the money for the program, it wasn't like unlimited money. Like, they give you that money for a certain amount of time. I came in about a year into it, and it was a 3-year grant. So the 2 years I was there pushed me towards the end of the initial grant. So I was worried, like, yo, if this grant doesn't get renewed, what happens to me? Same situation. I could be gone. My boy Devon pulled some magic. He got an extension. He got me for another year. Whew. Relief. Everything's cool. That incident happened. Attorney General gets reelected. All is cool. Now, we were aiming towards that next time when, you know, Devon will have to file for an extension. But this was after the incident that kind of shook up the office. So again, I asked Devon, you know, do these people who give us the grant funding, like, do they take into account, you know, what's going on with the office, like the atmosphere of the office or whatever's going on in the news? He was like, they might. I know Devon was just giving me an answer, but that answer won't good enough for me. It won't stable enough for me. So I love what I did, but you know, me just looking out for the best interests of my family, I kind of start thinking about an exit plan, because I didn't want to get caught in a situation where, you know, I'm young, I have a house, I have a young child, and I just lose income. I'm bringing in a large portion of the income, so I can't let that happen. So again, I go back to the drawing board where I'm looking at jobs and I'm like, I feel real, like I do love the job I have now. I love my freedom. I love what I'm known for. I love the pay. But the thing that kept, you know what I'm saying, bringing me back to square one was my whole life, my entire life, my entire career, I've always been an overachiever. Like, you say, Dean, I need you to do this, and I'll give you this, and this. I've always been like that. With my friends, with my jobs, with my academics, all that. But the sad thing about working for somebody, specifically in America, is no matter, typically if you do this, and this, they're only going to compensate you for this, right? So you might get a pat on the back every once in a while. You might get an award. You might get a 2% pay increase every couple years. But honestly, the way prices rising, bro, that's just not enough, man. And it started like irking me a little bit more now that I had kids, because, you know, money isn't everything. Money very important. I don't care what nobody say. Money's very important. And when you got kids, you start realizing you start spending more money than you used to spending. So I go home and I said, you know what? What is a job I can do where I'm compensated, I feel, correctly for how hard I work? And I think about it for a while, and all of a sudden, this light bulb goes up in my head. Real estate. I'm like, let's state the facts. At this point, I'm like 28 years old. I'm like, bro, I've been living here since I was 5 years old. I know a lot of people. And I'm on good terms with a lot of people. It's not too much people. I'm not saying everybody like me, but it's not too much people who don't like me. I know everything. I've probably driven on every street, you know what I'm saying, on this side of the water. Like, I know this area like the back of my hand. Like, this is home. I know what you need to know. I know what you don't need to know. I feel as though I got the personality to excel in real estate. So me and Devon, like I said, we're very close. I tell Devon my plans. He like, bro, go for it. Like, Devon always pushed me to do what's best for me. He understood my situation. I said, all right, cool. So I look at like the classes for real estate. And they had a 3-week course, which was 5 days a week, and they had an 8-week course, which was 2 nights a week. And I said, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I told the wife, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. She said, go for it. I told Devon, he said, bro, go for it. I take leave for 3 weeks. And I take the 3-week course. And I'm fortunate enough to pass the first time. Then I take the board exam, and I passed the first time. Some people who take their test for real estate aren't that fortunate. So once I pass, I'm essentially licensed, and I made the decision that, you know what, if I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna commit. I start telling everybody at the job, I'm like, hey, you know, my last day is gonna be this day. Everybody's sad to see me go. But the hardest conversation was going into jail and telling the guys, because I had actually just started a new group. It was my 5th group. And the first day I told them, I said, you know, I've been here for the last 4, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be here to continue to walk with y'all, but I wish all y'all the best. And they were okay with it, you know, because I hadn't really bonded with them. But the guys I had bonded with, I think some of the best reassurance came from them. Like, they was like, Dean, you know, you met me. I met most of them when they was probably at the worst times of their life. And they was like, Dean, if it's anybody I know who's going to strive to be as good as he can be, it's you. So I expect nothing less, man. Go out there and kill it. So when I got that from my guys, I was good. And those guys, some of those guys still call me today. At that point in time, I'm leaving a salary position to go work all commission. I still have bills, bro. I have a house. I have a car. I have student loans. Those bills still have to be paid. On top of that, electricity, like gas, like just living. I got bills. I got stuff to pay for. At this point in time, I had been with the state government for a little over 5 years. I think it was like 6 years. So I had vested with the state. I had retirement kind of built up. And when I left, they were like, so Dean, do you want to withdraw your retirement? And I made that decision that if I ever left, I wouldn't come back. So I had about like 25 grand in my retirement savings with the state. And I decided that if I was leaving, I was going to take that with me. I'll just take the hit on taxes. But I needed money to hold me, because when you get in real estate, if you ain't selling anything, you're not making any money. So I take that out. I'm sitting on 25 grand. I get into real estate. Actually, my first month in real estate, I get very, very lucky. Shout out to Talo. Talo and Kelvina was moving back into the area because they were getting military orders back here. And Talo called me and said, bro, I feel comfortable with you as my realtor. You know what I'm saying? I've known you for a long time. I feel comfortable with you as my realtor. And he put his trust into me. And I fell into my first transaction not too long after getting my license. That was in July of 2019. I didn't sell my next house until December of 2019. I went 6 months with no real estate income. None at all. Now, the purpose of this video is to let this person know how thankful I am for him. I was at home in September, minding my business. Typical day, trying to figure out how to get real estate business. I had none lined up. My wife went to work. She came home. She takes a shower when she gets home. And at this point in time, I'm playing with my son. And I had my dog, ASAP, and my wife's taking a shower. And I get a random doorbell ring. So I go to the door, and it's this gentleman at the door. It's two gentlemen at the door, but it's one main one talking. And I'm holding my son. My dog's going crazy. I said, you know what? I can't do this through the glass door. Let me step outside. And this gentleman introduces himself as Les Smith. And he says, hi, I'm Les with Ion Solar. Are you the homeowner? I said, yes, I am. And he's like, hey, do you know what's going on with the solar program in your neighborhood? And I said, man, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm really not too inviting to random people knocking on my door. Let's just get that out there. But I wasn't rude to him. But he kept asking me basically to set an appointment to know how solar works. And I kept telling him, no, I'm not interested. I know I told him no probably 3 or 4 times. I'm going to be honest with you. And then one of the last things he said was, don't you want to learn how to save some money? And when he said that, he hit a soft spot. Because like I said, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a provider. And I felt at that point in time I wasn't providing financially for my family like I wanted to, because I was doing real estate, I wasn't making any money. So cutting back on expenses was something I would have loved to do. So when he said that, I said, okay, I set the appointment. Cool. Unless, thank you. I set the appointment. 2 days later, another gentleman by the name of Ivan comes to the house. Shout out to Ivan. He don't work with us anymore, but he's still my dog, no matter what. And Ivan comes out, and he's a solar salesman, and he explains to me how it works. He explains to me and my wife how it works. And at that point in time, I knew I was in a house that I wasn't going to be in forever, and I saw it as an opportunity to build equity based off the information that he told me. I ended up getting solar panels. And then the next day, this is where it gets a little crazy. I had signed documents with him, but there was one particular document that my wife was supposed to sign that I signed. So he was like, man, if you don't mind, can I send this to you, DocuSign, and you sign it? I was like, sure. I was a real estate agent, so I was familiar with DocuSign. And we laughed about it on the phone. He was like, yeah, normally older people, they don't know how to use DocuSign. I got to go back to the house and show them. I'm like, nah. So when I met with him the first time, of course, through just regular talking, I told him I was a real estate agent. I told him what I do. And me kind of putting 2 and 2 together, I'm like, I'm a new real estate. I'm in my high 20s. Everybody at this age typically has a real estate agent in mind. I need something that's gonna set me apart from other agents. If solar panels go on houses, and supposedly due to the situation with the state, it's supposed to help homeowners, I feel as though, isn't this something that all real estate agents should know about? That's how I looked at it. So by me knowing this information, I felt like I had some type of leverage in getting clients because I knew something that other agents didn't know, solar. So I kind of throw it out there like, hey, Ivan, like, are y'all hiring? And his response was, bro, I thought you would never ask, bro. I really, the whole time was thinking you'll be pretty good at what I do. So I start working for Ion Solar, and people ask me all the time, like, do you do real estate part-time and solar part-time? No, I do both full-time. I have the panels, and I honestly think I have currently developed into probably the most credible source of solar information in regards to real estate in Hampton Roads. To this day, I don't know anybody else who sells solar, has owned solar, has sold a house with solar themselves as the agent, bought another house themselves as the agent, and put solar on that second house. I don't know anybody else that has done that. And I'm not saying that to be cocky, I just really think it's a fact. I don't know anybody else that's done that. I really don't feel like I sell solar. I feel like I tell people how it worked for me, the benefit I got from it, and I kind of just let people make decisions for themselves. But this video is dedicated to Les Smith, man. I call Les my Superman, bro. He's one of the hardest working people I know by far. And it's wild that if I would have just told Les no one more time, it's highly likely I wouldn't be successful as I am now. So, I mean, it's 2022. I started real estate and solar in 2019. I only sold 2 houses in 2019. I signed up like 8 families for solar in 2019. In 2020, I sold 14 houses, signed up about 60 families for solar. And in 2021, I sold 26 houses and signed up about 55 families for solar. So, Les, I appreciate you, bruh. And that's the end of my career story. What happens from this point on, you're gonna see it when I see it. Gone.
Bitch, I been ballin' like I'm hard and check out the stats, ayy. I'm with the gang and we in the section, you know where we at, ayy.